Hello, everybody, and welcome to this interview with Javier Heredia, who is Managing Director of CSI Leasing Europe. Javier, good afternoon.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. We are going to discuss about the CIO challenge that we have discussed previously in our CIO event. How do successful organizations manage through changing economic environments and find funds to drive growth and innovation?
Well, organizations have been always trying to balance the best way to apply to limited available resources to the multiple priorities of the companies. This has been always a basic component of the management in all the organizations. The question here is that in the last time, a key component of the change has been how technology is acquired and adapted in the organizations. In the past, CIOs had mainly the dilemma of which IT capacity to adapt in the companies to solve the potential and expected business requirements. This meant and resulted on mainly CapEx models, very fixed cost models, very static, and that at the end, what we saw is very pure capital utilization with oversizing of the IT investment, and that probably was not an efficient way of using our money. Then what happens? The new trends is that we are shifting to OpEx models, more agile and flexible models, and the main one being operating lease, but also we can talk about device as a service, subscription models, etc. And here what we see is that we are allowing the IT budget not only to be dedicated to operational tasks, but also to functions on solutions to be focused on innovation and also to keep or help on the competitive advantage initiatives of the companies. In the past, we saw that 80% of the IT budget was dedicated just to keep the lights on. Now we have more free resources to solve the real solutions of the company and the needs of the company, and especially the needs of the future of the company. And this is key on the new management of the CIOs.
Even more, according to IDC data, agile companies are more profitable, but the flexibility is a key. So my second question could be, within these considerations, how important it's to ensure flexibility? How do you ensure that the investment made today will build flexibility to address unknown changes of tomorrow?
Yes, it's very important what you're saying now, because the IDC benchmark agility survey.
Agility benchmark.
Yes, it shows something very important. 93% of the agile companies are more profitable than the average. Now IT is part of the main strategy of the companies. It's the backbone of the business in more of the cases. See examples like as Amazon or Spotify, things like Airbnb, lots of cases that we see every day in the media. But also we have medium companies that they have made the IT become the part of the core business. So if you talk with the leaders of these companies, the first say that they say is we need a state-of-the-art IT infrastructure and solutions and models in our company. And the only way to have a state-of-the-art IT technology is to have flexible models of investment. I'm insisting always on talking about this because at the end this is intimately related to the future of the company. The survival of our organizations is to keep competitive, and this means to be adapting to any new IT technology that is needed to do so. So in that case, that state of the art, and again, I'm saying this because it's related to flexible models. Flexible models mean capability to adapt, but not talking about IT cost to solutions of IT per se. We are talking about solutions for the SLAs of the company, for the requirements of the business, and things like that.
And specifically regarding the seek of agility.
Clearly. So then agility means all of these things, flexibility, adaptability, a capability to forecast the future, and it's related to, we are sure about what you say at the beginning, is the change of the path of the changes is accelerating. So we are probably seeing that in 3 or 4 years from now, the change criteria is changing as well. So we need to create structures, infrastructures in the company that are adapting to this uncertainty.
And this introduces a new difference. And Javier, what's the difference between paying for IT and paying for result or outcomes?
This question is close related to agile concept. So at the end, you remember the old concept or the old approach of IT investment when we were talking about, which is the accounting cost. So we need to forget this concept, which is the cost of the IT, and we talk about that project and the amount, etc. We need to change this wording, and because the concept is not which is the cost of this IT, exactly hardware or infrastructure, whatever. What we are talking about, which is the cost of solving this business requirement, which is the cost of solving or accomplishing with this SLA. And this is the big difference. When we go to this all-minded concept or approaching to IT investment, at the end what we are doing is to doing a static model. A static model of fixed cost model, and this will not allow us to adapt to the new requirements of the business, and this is every day more important.
My next question is regarding, considering that forward-looking and flexible solutions must address sustainability and circular economy elements in futures deployment, how does the CIO plan for future refresh of IT?
Very important that we're asking this because it's increasingly being a topic in the conversations on the management meetings. First of all, is to say that affordability and sustainability are not mutual exclusive terms. At the end, when we are talking about ESG, so environmental, social, and governance, what we are talking at the end is cost efficiency. And looking into flexible models, agile models, we are talking about using the resources in the efficient way. This is sustainability, but very important and being very concrete. Flexible models as operating lease or device as a service, what we are talking is that the company uses the IT as a vehicle, limited vehicle, for the time that this is efficient. And then there are these tools include the solutions as recycling, repurposing of the equipment, in order that this is aligned with the environmental friendly policies at any moment. So when we are talking about flexible models, what we are talking is a sustainable and part of the circular economy that what we'll do is to be adopting any special, I would say, potential regulation, potential need of the market, of the company regarding sustainability. So for me, this is aligned totally. That's the idea.
Okay. And in your opinion, Javier, how should these new vulnerabilities be addressed?
Well, data security has been always a cat and mouse race, with companies being sure to be ahead on this race by having a state-of-the-art technology. It was important that at least we are one step ahead of the bad guys. In addition, what we saw this year is that companies had the need to encourage the employees to work on remote, and this is adding one more challenge to the cybersecurity sector. Then what we have is that CIOs have to face an increasing complexity on this hybrid environment, and also seeing that the threats are also becoming more diverse and sophisticated. This means that for sure there will be updated systems, updated viruses, updated hacking, etc. So the CIO have to implement a flexible model that can deploy any new technology that is needed to protect the data and the security of the company. How to do that? Again, what we see is flexible models. And the good news is that this is aligned with the rest of the management priorities of the company. We talk about flexibility, adaptability to the business strategy, to the business requirements. This is the same. So again, insisting on having flexible models, operational lease, device as a service, whatever that guarantees that the companies are sure to be accomplishing with the security today and be easily adapting to the needs of security in the future.
This question is a must. With technology becoming a major enabler for businesses, in our CIO Summit event, we have addressed the evolution of CIO role from technology expert to business strategist. Javier, are the CIO ready to leverage this influence?
Well, this is not only a question that is a must, but also a tough question. It depends on different CIO profiles, and at the same time, we have different types of organizations. An aspect to be considered here is the different level of maturity related to the digital agility. What is very clear, and we know sure, is that as digital is becoming a strategy for the companies, we will need either a CIO that can navigate business decisions, or company profile or an organization profile that can navigate IT decisions. What else to say here is that the process of decision making is becoming more complex and is increasingly involving other stakeholders that is not only the CIO. We've seen several studies that the number of decision makers in IT investment is increasing from an average of 2 to 5, and the trend is going further. So CIO clearly will need to adapt to this situation. We'll have to be able to navigate on this type of environments with other decision makers helping them in order to arrive to the real decision. Also, what's important to say here is not only the pure IT decision, is to also decide on the model in order to implement this IT decision. We are insisting on flexibility, adaptability, agility, because we think that this is key to become a competitive company with a competitive and efficient IT department.
Fully agree. And Javier, my last question could be the million-dollar question. Which are the main actions to take to move the organizations to the right directions on IT planning?
Well, I agree. This is an important question. Well, naturally, it depends on the company's technology adoption cycle. It's not the same a company that is an innovator, an early adopter, an early majority, etc. At the end, it depends on where we are now, which are our needs now and in the short term, and which are our goals, not only short term, but mid-term and long term. When I receive this question, I always say the same, is the best thing to do is to talk with CSI. We try to help the companies to adapt to the new requirement with the best and more optimized solution, with flexible models, as we said, and this is what we have been doing for almost 50 years. So I hope that we talk with lots of companies in order to adapt to these new situations.
Thank you, Javier, for these great insights regarding CIO Challenge. Big pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you a lot. It has been a pleasure as well. Very well organized. Thank you.
And thank you to you all for being here with us today.